Is it possible that there's a solution for fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome that's sitting quietly in the back of your health food stores right now? I'm talking about ribose, which is a type of sugar that most people have never heard of. In this paper, 257 healthcare workers who were diagnosed with fibromyalgia and or chronic fatigue syndrome took a scoop of D-ribose powder, about 5 grams, with food or liquid 3 times a day for 3 weeks. Before and then once every week after for 3 weeks, everyone filled out questionnaires rating 5 things on a scale from 1 to 7. Their energy level, their sleep quality, mental clarity, pain level, and overall sense of well-being. And the results of this trial were pretty impressive. People reported a 61% average improvement in their overall energy levels, a 37% improvement in overall feelings of well-being, 29% better quality of sleep, 30% improvement in their mental clarity, and they also reported a 16% reduction in their pain. Now, we're not done yet. Let's take a look at this next study, which involves 41 people with fibromyalgia and or chronic fatigue syndrome. These people likewise also completed questionnaires where they rated on a scale from 1 to 10 how they felt before and after taking ribose in these 5 key areas. Again, their energy, sleep, mental clarity, pain, and their sense of well-being. Now, it's stated in the trial that everyone got a container that had 280 grams of ribose, and they state that the people took the supplement for roughly 2 to 4 weeks, although the exact duration appeared to vary from person to person, and I consider that a weakness of the study. Nonetheless, here are the results. Here's a table that they show in the study, and I added in red the percentage increase or decrease that were reported. Looking at the percentages in red, it looks pretty impressive. For example, people reported a 45% improvement in their energy levels. And while that's encouraging, notice that nobody rated their improvement as a 10, the best of all. Still, this study adds more evidence that ribose appears to be doing something for people with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome. And that brings us to what I think is the most intriguing report of all. It involves a 37-year-old surgeon who's been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. The fibromyalgia is actually interfering with her work as a surgeon, and so she's prescribed various medications and physical therapy. However, they don't appear to be having much effect. So after several months, she decides to add ribose supplements to this regimen, and within 2 weeks, she notices improvements in her joint pain, sleep patterns, mental alertness, and bowel habits. And within 1 month, she reports significant improvements in fibromyalgia. They actually say the phrase near normal functioning. Great news, right? Well, here's where things get interesting. Just for fun, she decides to stop taking ribose to see what happens, and within a week, her fibromyalgia pain and other symptoms begin to reappear. She then starts taking the ribose supplement again, and within 2 weeks, she starts to feel better. And then, just as a double check, again, she stops taking the ribose to see what happens, and her symptoms begin to get worse again. And when she restarts taking the ribose supplement again, her symptoms begin to resolve once more. The report concludes that she's still taking ribose supplements, and she's very happy with the reduction in her fibromyalgia symptoms. Now, this report was published in 2004, and unfortunately I couldn't locate any follow-ups. I would love to know how this surgeon is doing today. As I was investigating this topic, I also came across this study published on the clinicaltrials.gov website. This study looks very intriguing, being a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled study involving 110 people who took the exact same dosage of ribose in the papers that I just summarized. It looks great, but unfortunately I can't locate it, and so I don't know if it was ever published. I also found this paper on the clinicaltrials.gov website, but it appears to have been suspended, which is very disappointing. Now, as for side effects of ribose supplements, they appear to be pretty mild, with GI issues being the most common, but as they point out in this 2018 paper, a lot of these gastrointestinal distress issues can be reduced by taking ribose with food. And sidebar, when you're taking a new dietary supplement for the very first time, generally taking less than is recommended for about the first week or so should also help reduce side effects too. The researchers of this paper reported a drop in blood sugar after taking 10 grams of ribose, but it was a temporary drop in blood sugar, and interestingly, ribose was not shown to raise insulin levels. And in this paper, which some may find concerning, it was reported that higher levels of ribose in the serum was associated with mild memory problems, oxidized LDL cholesterol, and advanced glycation end products in people who had type 2 diabetes. Now that sounds concerning, and I wasn't able to see if these results were actually replicated anywhere else, and also take note that this paper did not involve people who were taking ribose supplements. Here's a table that summarizes the published studies and reports that I just presented, and from this table we can see that people reporting benefits from ribose supplements took between 10 and 15 grams spread out over the course of a day. Also take notice that everyone in these studies and reports were taking a specific brand of ribose called Corvalin, where 1 scoop provides 5 grams. Okay, so where does this leave us? So there's definitely research on ribose helping people with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome, although that research could be better in my view. After all these years, I don't know why no one has published a randomized clinical trial of ribose supplements pitting it against a placebo. That said, if these studies and reports are to be believed, this is not a supplement that you need to take for 6 months before you know it's working or not. If ribose really is going to help fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome, you should start seeing reductions in pain and other symptoms in a month or less. Do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below if ribose helped you, and if you want to support my independent research on supplements, buy me a coffee. The link is below, and I'll see you in the next video.